The upright person does whatever presents itself to be done, good or bad, for his actions are like those of a child. By inner freedom one attains happiness, by inner freedom one reaches the supreme, by inner freedom one comes to absence of thought, by inner freedom to the ultimate state. When one sees oneself as neither the doer nor the reaper of the consequences, then all mind waves come to an end. The spontaneous, unassuming behavior of the wise is noteworthy, but not the deliberate, purposeful stillness of the fool. The wise who are rid of imagination, unbound and with unfettered awareness, may enjoy themselves in the midst of many goods, or alternatively go off to mountain caves. There is no attachment in the heart of a wise man, whether he sees or pays homage to a learned Brahmin, a celestial being, a holy place, a woman, a king, or a friend. A yogi is not in the least put out even when humiliated by the ridicule of servants, sons, wives, grandchildren, or other relatives. Even when pleased, he is not pleased, not suffering even when in pain. Only those like him can know the wonderful state of such a man. It is the feeling that there is something that needs to be achieved which is samsara. The wise who are of the form of emptiness, formless, unchanging and spotless, see nothing of the sort. Even when doing nothing, the fool is agitated by restlessness, while a skillful man remains undisturbed even when doing what there is to do. Happy he stands, happy he sits, happy sleeps, and happy he comes and goes. Happy he speaks, and happy he eats. This is the life of a man at peace. He who of his very nature feels no unhappiness in his daily life like worldly people, remains undisturbed like a great lake, cleared of defilement. Even abstention from action has the effect of action in a fool, while even the action of the wise man brings the fruits of inaction. A fool often shows aversion towards his belongings, but for him whose attachment to the body has dropped away, there is neither attachment nor aversion. The mind of the fool is always caught in thinking or not thinking, but the wise man's is of the nature of no thought, because he thinks what is appropriate. For the seer who behaves like a child without desire in all actions, there is no attachment for such a pure one, even in the work he does. Blessed is he who knows himself and is the same in all states, with a mind free from craving whether he is seeing, hearing, feeling, smelling, or tasting. There is no one subject to samsara, no sense of individuality, no goal or means to the goal in the eyes of the wise man who is always free from imagination and unchanging like space. Glorious is he who has abandoned all goals and is the incarnation of the satisfaction, which is his very nature, and whose inner focus on the unconditioned is quite spontaneous. In brief, the great-souled man who has come to know the truth is without desire for either pleasure or liberation, and is always and everywhere free from attachment. What remains to be done by the man who is pure awareness and has abandoned everything that can be expressed in words from the highest heaven to the earth itself? The pure man who has experienced the indescribable attains peace by virtue of his very nature, realizing that all this is nothing but illusion and that nothing is. There are no rules, dispassion, renunciation, or meditation for one who is pure receptivity by nature and admits no knowable form of being. For him who shines with the radiance of infinity and is not subject to natural causality, there is neither bondage, liberation, pleasure, nor pain. Pure illusion reigns in samsara, which will continue until self-realization. But the enlightened man lives in the beauty of freedom from me and mine, from the sense of responsibility, and from any attachment. For the seer who knows himself as imperishable and beyond pain, there is neither knowledge, a world, nor the sense that I am the body or the body mine. No sooner does a man of low intelligence give up activities like the elimination of thought than he falls into mind racing and chatter. A fool does not get rid of his stupidity even on hearing the truth. He may appear outwardly free from imaginations, but inside he is still hankering after the senses. Though in the eyes of the world he is active, the man who has shed action through knowledge finds no means of doing or speaking anything. For the wise man, who is always unchanging and fearless, there is neither darkness nor light nor destruction nor anything. There is neither fortitude, prudence nor courage for the yogi whose nature is beyond description and free of individuality. There is neither heaven nor hell nor even liberation during life. In a nutshell, in the sight of the seer, nothing exists at all. He neither longs for possessions nor grieves at their absence. The calm mind of the sage is full of the nectar of immortality. The dispassionate man does not praise the good or blame the wicked. Content and equal in pain and pleasure, he sees nothing that needs doing. The wise man is not averse to samsara, nor does he seek to know himself. Free from pleasure and impatience, he is not dead and he is not alive. The wise man excels by being free from anticipation, without attachment to such things as children or wives, free from desire for the senses, and not even concerned about his own body. The wise man, who lives on whatever happens to come to him, roams wherever he pleases, and sleeps wherever the sun happens to set, is at peace everywhere. Whether his body rises or falls, the great-souled one gives it no thought, having forgotten all about samsara in coming to rest on the ground of his true nature. The wise man has the joy of being complete in himself, and without possessions, acting as he pleases, free from duality and rid of doubts, and without attachment to any creature. The wise man excels in being without the sense of me. Earth, a stone, or gold are the same to him. The knots of his heart have been rent asunder, and he is freed from greed and blindness. Who can compare with that contented, liberated soul who pays no regard to anything and has no desire left in his heart? Who but the upright man without desire knows without knowing, sees without seeing, and speaks without speaking? Beggar or king, he excels who is without desire, and whose opinion of things is rid of good and bad. There is neither dissolute behavior nor virtue, nor even discrimination of the truth for the sage who has reached the goal and is the very embodiment of guileless sincerity. That which is experienced within by one who is desireless and free from pain and content to rest in himself, how could it be described, and of whom? The wise man who is contented in all circumstances is not asleep even in deep sleep, nor sleeping in a dream, nor waking when he is awake. The seer is without thoughts even when thinking, without senses among the senses, without understanding even in understanding, and without a sense of responsibility even in the ego. Neither happy nor unhappy, neither detached nor attached, neither seeking liberation nor liberated, he is neither something nor nothing. Not distracted in distraction, in mental stillness not poised, in stupidity not stupid. That blessed one is not even wise in his wisdom. The liberated man is self-possessed in all circumstances and free from the idea of done and still to do. He is the same wherever he is and without greed. He does not dwell on what he has done or not done. He is not pleased when praised nor upset when blamed. He is not afraid of death nor attached to life. A man at peace does not run off to popular resorts or to the forest. Whatever and wherever, he remains the same.